Cosmics. This is Combustigation. Forgive the wild, crazy curls. But I thought I'm using the direct upload, so my lips probably are not matching my words. And excuse the fan sound in the background, but I wanted to comment on your 9/11 video. The day itself, terrorist attacks happen all over the world, sadly. Accidents happen all over the world, sadly. The crazy thing about 9/11 was the sudden, oh my goodness, this is a terrorist attack. It wasn't so much, it wasn't like we jumped up and said, oh, there's a plane hitting the tower and it's a terrorist attack. Like you said, at first people thought it was an accident. I remember getting ready for my Western Civilization final, or one of my major tests. I don't even remember if it was a final. And I was so stressed about this test, and it was like the worst thing that could happen to me that day. And I was on the internet studying, and the news was on the TV in the living room, and all of a sudden it was like there's a plane that hit the towers. And I'm like, oh my goodness, a plane just crashed into one of the towers. That is scary and horrible. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at the screen, it's live, and poof, there goes another plane into the towers. And it was like live right there on TV, and it happened, and I just sat there like, what's going on? What just happened? Another accident? No way. So I sit down in front of the TV and I'm like, what's going on? And they're trying to figure out what's going on. And by the time they figured out what's going on, there's somebody calling from an airplane reporting that they're on a plane that has been hijacked by terrorists. What a concept. Their plane that they're on and they're calling from has been hijacked by terrorists. Instantly, I wanted to throw up. I was so like, oh my god, that can't be really happening. Somebody is on a plane and they're going to die, and they're on the phone with someone. And it was just like, this can't be real. And then, all of a sudden, a plane hits the Pentagon, and a plane crashes in Pennsylvania. Or, I might have even said that wrong, but it was just those, like, bam, bam. It was so terrifying that I jumped up, went out the door, picked up my daughter from daycare, and picked up my friend from the hospital, Duke Hospital, because it's a study of medicine and biochemicals and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I was just terrified that some big event and it, of course it did happen. It was a chain reaction, but it wasn't like, it really felt like the beginning of some kind of apocalyptic war or something, just because of the amount of terror that was just sweeping through. At these moments when all of a sudden all these unknown things were happening to everyday people, not people that signed up to be in a fight or signed up to join the military or worked in a government office, or it was just regular people. Not regular, everybody's regular, but you know what I mean. They weren't people who had a police officer job or worked in scary positions in the government, or, well, some of them were, but do you know what I'm saying? It was people that were doing their everyday life, and all of a sudden, boom, and it was happening everywhere, and it was happening random, it seemed, and it wasn't stopping. It was like towers, Pentagon, and it was like, and then people were saying on the news, all the planes and flights have been suspended, and who knows where they're going to strike next. And of course, that's terror. That's the radio. And but wow, okay, it was just one of the scariest days I remember. And it's an unfortunate chain of events. Um, what it's led to now, and all the lives that have been lost. It's all horrible, really. Um, but just that day, um, I will never forget that day. It was, and I know people that were right there will never forget that day. Right there near it, or involved in it, or lost loved ones in it. But it really affected everyone around the globe, because everyone was like, "What's going on?" I mean, this is just all of a sudden, and it's not. It's just like keeps happening. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. I missed my Western Civilization exam, but we were all excused for that absence. One of the girls in my Western Civilization class, father passed away in the Pentagon, or worked in the Pentagon, passed away, or towers. I think he had worked in the Pentagon and passed away. Um, and I wasn't there in class that day because I left it. Um, but she got the news in the middle of taking her test, which is very horrible. And just imagining all the people, that were affected and lost loved ones, and or just visually saw this catastrophe happen. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. And thanks for your video.